Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Let's Play Oxygen Not Included. In the last episode I got a reminder, this hydrogen vent is about to switch on, and while I'd like to think that it's safe even in a vacuum because that's what the guarantee said on the sticker, entirely possible that there's something that I've overlooked. Which is why we need to have a little bit of a head start. In other news, we've at least carved out the base of this system. I'm going to run this old, the old carbon skimmer setup that I had over here. I'm going to be running the excess water over to here as well. Because this setup is going to generate a metric ton of carbon dioxide. I need to be able to clean it out. At some point I might want to swap out the carbon skimmer for a gas pump and then send it all to a slickster farm, because the more using a carbon skimmer just deletes the water, just deletes the carbon dioxide. Giving it to slicksters will convert 50% of it into crude oil or petroleum. Either are really nice things to have. I actually remember once working on a very cold biome that just starts with absolutely no slicksters whatsoever. And I was so used to running slickster branches to get rid of the excess CO2 that it just caught me off guard with how much it was building up. Of course, being extremely cold also meant that the carbon skimmer pipes ended up cracking. So yeah, super cold biome has its advantages but also its disadvantages. It also wasn't spaced out if memory serves. I think it was the base game. Oh sweet, we finished the cool salt slush. And we've got a lot of data banks. Yeah, this is a problem. So just checking, it's not this. This is a vacuum. The problem is simply that we just don't. We've been using the metal refinery and piping this in here, but we just never had any room to clear out all of the coolant water. So we need those coal generators online. We need to run their energy all the way over to here. But running a lot of heavy watt wire that far is going to be a challenge. So, Alright, I have an idea. Wait, no, not the gold joint plate. We specifically want it to be the heavy watt conductive plate like this. It's easy to change heavy watt wire into heavy watt conductive wire and vice versa. You just click and drag. Things like the watt joint plates, those are a pain to replace. It's just like when I had trouble installing automation plates up here. You have to actively deconstruct it, then reconstruct it. So what's going to happen here? It's kind of interesting. So this battery is going to control how much power the coal gen... So This battery is basically making sure that the coal generators don't burn off all the coal at once for no purpose. If it reaches full power, then it switches them off. If it reaches low power, it switches them on. This large power transformer keeps them from hooking into the rest of the cable. When this battery is at a certain point, it switches off. Or rather, when this battery is at a certain point, it sends the green signal to here saying, okay, all the power you've stored here, give it to the network. When it reaches the upper threshold, it switches it off, saying, okay, we've got enough. This is important because you use it to control which generators are prioritized for power over others. So, I could make it... Basically, you want to make sure that the coal generators are sort of a last resort because they technically aren't renewable. Even though the hatches keep pooping out lots of coal for us to use, it's not infinite because hatch food isn't infinite. At least not yet. Supersustainable. Oh, we're almost there. Now the idea that I have is that we can't run all the cables that we need over to here yet. We just don't have enough metal on hand. So I'm going to use low power transformers at that end and at this end. So the low power transformers will send it across basic wiring all the way to here, then introduce it back onto the higher conductivity system. I don't know whether this can work or not, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Make sure that it kicks in a bit sooner than 0% because it needs to be able to run the auto sweeper. Anyhow, this is a system to make sure that the carbon skimmer doesn't end up overheating itself due to low pressure. Good, phosphorite doesn't melt from cool steam. I was worried for a second there. What happened? Where'd all the snack gas come from? Oh, I think we dug up a tile that we shouldn't have dug up. Well, that's unfortunate. We'll have to vacuum up all this nat gas in the near future. It'll be a slow project, but that's the price we have to pay for a vacuum. so unfortunate that I decided to drop it on the right side instead of the left. Nobody wants the pickled meal. I can't blame them, but still. It's very unfortunate. Wait, did something break? I have this weird feeling that something broke over here, and I just didn't see it because they fixed it too fast. I should probably lower this pipe, lower the liquid vent just a smidge so that it doesn't start flooding out the side. Now, the real risk I see here, these steam turbines. They're currently quite hot, and when the steam bank gets hot enough to start working again, it's going to kick in and be exceptionally hotter. Now, we're supposed to use these to keep it cool, but oh dear. Currently the source of a lot of roasting. You know what? Cobalt. Ship over a whole bunch of cobalt. Then we refine it up here because this one's still working. But basically, I want to make sure that the steam turbines get cooled down ASAP the moment we start running when we start running this liquid pump again. I'm kind of confused why we didn't finish this. Okay. There's no water in it, so clearly it hasn't kicked in on its own. It simply got overheated by us running metal refinery coolant all through the area when we haven't been cooling the coolant. And we have so much hydrogen, and yet it's not in the tanks where we can use it. What's with that? I'm just thinking, do I want this to be a mechanized airlock so they can open and close it a lot faster? Part of me is thinking yes. But then where do you get the power for it? I guess from here? You could probably use with some more sand, so good thing Steve's on the way to fix that problem. We actually probably didn't need this much cobalt, did we? Where'd all the iron go? That's where all the iron is. It's inside this radioactive hellhole. At some point we're going to finish with all the ceramic sizing of all these insulated liquid pipes, but... We should probably use the water at some point too. I don't see people, so I guess seeds. Now what is it that I just thought of that we really need to do? I don't think I said it aloud, but I did think of something that needs to be done. Oh yeah, that's the thing. So then, Charge the battery. Oh, I see the problem. It's a slightly overpressurized hydrogen vent, so it needs some input power from elsewhere. Well, at least it hasn't exploded yet, that's a positive. Maybe a hydrogen generator would help there, but hazardous power. Oh yeah, anti-entropy nullifier. This is going to consume small amounts of hydrogen to radically lower the temperature of the area. It's not... You kind of have to work to make it... It's less that it's potent, but more that... Okay, one, it has a very low temperature that it has to hit before it's at 173.2 degrees Celsius. That's a very low temperature. It can work a lot lower than most of the liquids we can handle at the moment. But also, it doesn't require any fancy construction to work like the cooling loops do. You just plug and play. I have to wonder if I should have a second water sieve here so it clears the water twice as fast, but I'm not sure if that's technically necessary. At least it's not hurting my duplicants yet. It definitely could have been worse. Our base is still looking slightly scorching. Oh dear, you are a very cold fish. Is it this thing that's doing it? It outputs heat. I think step 1, insulate the hydrogen pipes. At least this far. But oh yeah, this tank alone has been draining constantly. And because we're running these gas pipes near these gas pipes, I think they've also been picking up the heat from the hydrogen generators. hydrogen. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we haven't lost any gulpfish. I guess if you're dealing with fish, you either want... I guess you do actually want to turn them all into tropical fries, simply so you can eliminate the chances of them laying gulpfish eggs. But then the fact that their temperature resets when they grow up is actually handy because it's been helping reduce the temperature of this pool. Colony achievement earned. Supersustainable. That took way too long. We need a recreation room and a greenhouse. There's definitely something weird about how this how it's this specific area that's been melting down. But also I want lead suits before I go into here. How close are we to lead suit research? The uranium ore field just had to be just barely out of our reach, didn't it? On the upside, we have payload openers and rocket launchers. So wherever I decide to set up, what I set up is, okay, we get chlorine gas, we get chlorine liquid. We can send a rocket from here to there and back again, and then wherever we want to set up our puffed ranch, we just rocket the chlorine straight over to it. Like, we don't have to go rocket center here, then rocket center here, sort of a shipping line. We can just planetary payload launch it to where we need it to be. Now that's the catch with it, isn't it? You see the extra overheat temperature and you think, yeah, I want that. But it actually takes very little effort for it to heat up. So you're going to hit that 120, you're going to hit that extra overheat temperature pretty darn fast. It's better to make it out of something that has an easier time transferring heat. Steel's a good choice because it has even higher temperature overheat, but it's also good at conducting the heat away quickly. Speaking of which, I feel like getting rid of this. Rather than running this liquid pump 24/7, I just want it to switch on when the liquid reservoir is low and switch off when it's high. That way it stops fighting with the metal refinery for power. Fancy new suits. I'm going to have to crank out a bunch of steel, aren't I? We have enough lime, we have enough refined carbon. We definitely won't have enough iron, but we just need to create what we can while we can. Everyone working hard on this shipping. But I also have so many projects that I need to be dealt with that just aren't getting dealt with because there's so much to do. Can't say that there's never anything to do. You know, I think it's actually time that we can do this. Water that does get trapped in the loop is at least going to slightly transfer the heat back into the tank. So even though it's going to be run past some very hot steam turbines, some of that excess heat is going to be transferred back into here. But yeah, until next time guys, take care. We'll see you all around.